Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Sunday, the 5th of November. Well, a quick recap on Saturday's performance. I haven't worked it out exactly, but we did get the over 2.5 goals treble up. It was a shorter price than normal, but just because it was the FA Cup and there were non-league teams involved. So I'm not sure exactly how much it made because personally I went above the normal staking plan that I had. Normally I have the £6, the £3, and the pound. Only because I put it on last minute because, as you're well aware, I just read the teams out rather than show you the bet. So if you'd have followed that, I think it was a slight losing day. The biggest disappointment was the horses. I think we had two placed, but a lot of them ran absolutely dreadful race. I think it was just a difficult day. No excuses. It was a losing day. We move on. But we're going on to Sunday now. So I find these selections very interesting. So I'm going to talk you through them. So basically, I've had a £5 bet on Sky Bet. I took advantage of the extra place races. Then I've had a bet on with Bet365, purely for the fact that you're well aware that I've got a deposit limit. So I can't put any more in because I withdrew what was in there already. So I'll jump to Bet365 after this. So the Sky Bet is taking advantage of the extra place races. And you would think, oh, it's gone for big prices. I haven't really gone for big prices. I'll explain why in a second, and I'll explain what I've actually gone for. And the Bet365, I've had a patent, and I've gone for big prices. And I do like the look of all of them, if I'm being honest. So let's get into it. So if you give me a like or subscribe, that's absolutely great. I appreciate it. So it's a 10 pence each way, lucky 15, and a pound each way accumulator. So all these horses, the first three, I believe, the trainers have got excellent strike rates at this course. So I'm going to get into it. So first selection is Gavin at 7-1 in the 155 at Carlisle, paying 4 places instead of 3. On form, I think it's got a chance. Is it one I would normally pick? That probably explains it, that answer there. What swayed me is the fact that the trainer, Peter Bowen, has only ever sent 6 horses to Carlisle, or he has in the last 5 years, whatever it was. And it's currently the third best, or his third best track for strike rate. So he's sent 6 horses there. One has won. I believe none of them have come second. One of them have come third, and 2 have come fourth. So these are paying out on first 4. This means nothing really, but 4 out of his 6 horses that he's sent have come placed. He's got 2 runners on the card that I can see, and I've had both of them. And I just think it's interesting. I actually googled how far it was from his stable in Pembrokes. Apparently, I think it's called. Is it called Little Newmarket, Little Cheltenham? It's Little something that I recognise, and it's in Pembrokes. And he's gone all the way to Carlisle, and apparently it's a 6-hour journey. Well, you're not going there for no reason whatsoever. He's got two entries that I've seen. This is the first one, and I think it's got a chance. I do believe it should be close to making all. So the easier the lead it gets, the better. The second selection is Shallow River at 4-1 in the 3 at Carlisle, paying 4 places instead of 3. This one isn't Peter Bowen. This one is Milton Harris. And oddly enough, this is Milton Harris's third best strike rate track over jumps. 4-1, I actually think it might drift, but I wanted to take 4-1 because it gives us the cash out option. Don't go on, we're not going to get rich with a 10 pence each way, lucky 15, but it could be we could be in a nice position where it's been backed in from 6-1, and I do believe 4-1 is a bit stingy, but if it gets shorter, you know that the money's down and they're actually trying. Not saying they're not trying if they're not, but anyway. So that's a second selection. The third selection is Mario De Pale at 15-2 in the 340 at Carlisle, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse is another one of Peter Bowen's entries. It came off a long absence last time and ran okay, so it's always a bit risky because you've heard about the bounce factor. Well, who knows? It will like this test. What I find also interesting is that James Bowen, son of Peter Bowen, also rode this horse quite regularly in 2020 when it was for a different trainer. So has James Bowen recommended that Peter Bowen buys this horse? Because it is part owned by, I think they said, the Bowen Group. I'm not sure exactly who that consists of, but they could be having a bit of fun with it. I do believe it's only an 8-year-old, so it's still got some potential. It should be like heading towards its peak as long as everything's okay. I do believe this horse could run a decent race. It is a competitive race. However, there are a lot of horses that are inexperienced over fences. It could mean that we've got one that's very unexposed, that could jump, that could go from hurdling to chasing seamlessly. But we don't know that. So when they're in soft ground at Carlisle, it becomes a slog. You then start relying on experience over fences, and this horse has got it. The fourth selection is Wild Bucks at 5-1 in the 4:15 at Carlisle, paying 4 places instead of 3. This is probably the nap of the day, but it's purely the nap of the day for the connections. Lucinda Russell, is absolutely flying at the moment. Her horses that are transitioning from, I hate to use that word, transitioning from point to point to hurdles to chasers, are doing it really well. And they've actually got some fantastic horses. Well, this is big connections. This is JP McManus. I believe it came second in a point to point. Now it's over. It's running a national flat race. And if she can win for every other owner, I think she'll be looking to impress JP McManus. And I think this horse has got every chance. 5-1. They're paying first 4. So if it comes placed, you get your money back anyway. So those are the selections at Carlisle on Sky Bet. Let's go to Bet365. So it's a 50 pence each way in Paynton. You can't see the prices, but I'll read them out as I'm giving you the bet. So the first selection is Mully's Choice in the 12:45 at Carlisle, and that's 25-1. It's over 2.5 miles, this race is. The vast majority of horses have never even ran over hurdles. A lot of them are coming off the pointing scene. This horse has ran over hurdles, but it ran disappointingly. However, it was 7-2. So it was fancied on the day. There was only about 7 runners, but the winner and the second have both got hurdle ratings or racing post ratings of the early 120s. So that shows me it was a tidy race. And 7-2 shows me this horse was fancied to be mixing it with them. It was disappointing, and it faded quite late on. It ran over 2 miles, 7.5 furlong at Worcester, which is like, it's a quick 2 miles, 7.5 furlong, whereas it's now dropped back to 2.5 mile at Carlisle. It's going to be a slog. I believe this horse, it could well be out the back for the majority of the race, and if they're interested on trying with it, it will actually start picking horses off, I believe, towards the finish when they're all crying enough. You've got the 2 fancied horses. You've got John Joe Neal actually trains the favourite for this race. It looks a promising sort, but it impressed it impressed in the national flat race, but it hasn't got any hurdles for. It's also stepping up to 2 mile 4 furlong on a stiff track, and it does tend to send these types like the favourite, and they do tend to run well. But there's question marks over that horse, and there's question marks over. I think the second favourite trained by Lucinda Russell as well. Well, that one, I believe, won over 2 mile. It's now got a £7 penalty, and it's stepping up half a mile. It may love the extra half a mile, but it's another question to be asked. And you've also got the Irish runner by McConnell. I think it's McConnell. And that's got a penalty for winning. So there's a lot of penalties knocking around, a lot of inexperience. This horse was disappointed, but 25-1 is too big for a horse that the better was expected of it last time. The second selection is Vitesse du Son, 12:25 at Lingfield, at 12-1. This has been gambled from 18-1, but I didn't see that until I came to put the bet on. It's Alice Haynes. This horse, it's been running on turf. It's been a bit in and out, but if you go back to last winter, it was rated and it won off a £6 higher mark than it's off today. I believe it's off 47 today. It's won off 53 at Wolverhampton. I just believe it's better than we think it is. It's an all-weather horse, and it's off a bargain basement handicap mark. Alice Haynes is going well at the moment, and I think it's doing a decent run. I think it's drawn quite wide, which is not ideal, but I still like the horse. Another horse that's drawn out wide, but I think there's possibly more to come, is Delegate the Lady, which is the third selection at 20-1 in the 3:55 at Lingfield. This horse, I believe it's either a 7 or 8-year-old. It's just had a wind operation. It's run once since and ran a decent race, whereas it hadn't ran a decent race for quite a while. If this horse goes to the front, because that was over 6 furlong at Chelmsford, so it really had to be on its toes to be competitive. It lost its position, then stayed on again. It's over an extra furlong at Lingfield, which is, I don't want to call it a slower track, but Chelmsford's like a dog track. Yeah, if you're not prominent and you can travel, you're gonna get lost. You're gonna get like mid division, and you're gonna get behind, and it's hard to lay up there. Whereas Lingfield, it's a bit fairer, should I say? So Delegate the Lady. I think it's drawn 10, which is not ideal, but ideally they go straight to the front and easily go to the front, hopefully, and dictate the pace. So some very interesting horses for Sunday. I'll be able for Monday selections. There will probably be selections. It's not fantastic racing, and there's two meetings that I've got a dreadful strike rate at. And people might say I've got a dreadful strike rate everywhere, which they've got a point. I think it's Hereford and Worcester. So I'll have a look. But there is some decent betting races where I think there's going to be a lot of extra place races. So anyway, enough waffling. Give me a like or a subscribe. That'd be great. Very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.